Hey folks, so today I will be reviewing the Chat70-u personal speakerphone from Clearone. This is a device that I acquired almost 3 years back, I would say, and essentially I have been using it pretty much non-stop in all this while. And like I use it primarily for teleconferencing. I work from home a lot, and it's absolutely essential that I have a good speakerphone. I haven't had any complaints with it, and I didn't see a video review, so I thought I would create one. So anyway, pretty stand like the device is about, I would say, 4 or 5, I would say 4 inches probably tall and about 4 inches wide. It has a oval piece in the center. This is where the speaker is. It has a tiny little blue LED right there, which switches on as soon as you connect it to the computer. It connects to the computer via a micro USB, not micro, a mini USB cable. A mini USB cable looks like this, I guess. There you go. So that's your mini USB cable right there. And let me put it back. It's fairly small and it's pretty lightweight enough that I leave it in my backpack pretty much all the time. It has come in handy quite a few times when sometimes, as you know, in the conference rooms, the actual speakerphone or whatever mechanism we had didn't work very well. And I just snapped it out of my backpack, and there we go. If we have about 4 or 5, I would say about maybe up to 6 people around a circular kind of table, it can easily pick up everyone's voice, as well as it has enough speaker volume that it can everyone can hear. So over here there are two buttons. One for the small button is for lowering the volume, the upper button is for raising the volume, and it can get reasonably enough loud. Then over here there's a, well, actually before that, let me get over here. There's a little tiny microphone mute button, so you don't have to mute it on the software side. You can actually mute it on the hardware side. I really like it because then there's like one less thing to track, and I'm certain that I have muted if in case I have to talk with somebody else or do something that's noisy and distracting to the people. If I press this thing, the LED turns on. It's muted no matter what the software is saying, because it's being muted in the hardware itself. The other thing that we have over here is the call cut button, hang up button, and this one is super useful because for Skype and Skype for Business, this is actually integrated, and they do take care that you just hung up. Like once the call is done and you are done talking, you just press this button, it actually does hang up, which is pretty great. I haven't noticed it hang up with the Google Hangout, but Google Hangout detects the phone and works really good with it as well. Now, one thing I wanted to clarify was over here, if we look at the microphone's back portion of it, and there you go, it says it's a Chat70-u, and the part number is slightly different from what is on Amazon right now, but I'm assuming that's simply because they have released a newer version of the same thing. It's still called 70-u, except my revision is revision 4.0. Maybe they have a newer revision or so. The model number is still the same, Chat70-u, so I'm assuming the characteristics of the microphone are still the same. So that is that's what the microphone looks like. There's a grill over here, and as you can see, there are tiny little holes, and you think that lint might get in, but I have not had any issues, and this has been in my backpack non-stop with other stuff. Sometimes I would put a extra t-shirt if I'm going to gym, and it has never picked up any lint. Now let me switch over. The key thing that you probably are looking for is it like, does it perform well? Is the sound actually okay? So I'm going to be switching over from a Blue Yeti over to this microphone, and let's see if the audio quality actually changes. One thing I want to point out is the Blue Yeti is a blogging microphone. It's a big giant piece of metal, almost I would say 2.5 3 pounds maybe total. So comparing this with the Blue Yeti would be a big mistake. They probably do cost the same, but this is a personal speakerphone that's completely different purpose. And of course, anyway, so that's one thing. And now let me switch over here, and now I'm switching over to this one. If you are hearing any noise, since I'm not really monitoring the noise, I use a gaming class laptop, and that thing is a fan that's going at it. And so you might pick that up. There's another fan in the room in another device that I have, and that produces a soft whooshing kind of noise. So that you might be picking up that as well. There might be some amount of clipping because I'm speaking at from about, say, 1.5 to 2 feet. This is my normal position. That's where I keep the device normally when I'm speaking. So there may be some clipping and so on and so forth. Now I'm going to be switching back to my Blue Yeti so you can hear that. And this is now back to the Blue Yeti. So, and one more time, let's
Go back, and this is back at the clear one. So you can kind of understand what the differences are between the Blue Yeti as well as the Chat 70U.
and back to the Blue Yeti. So that's the kind of the end of my review. You can, I hope by this time you have had a reasonable idea on whether or not the microphone actually works for you.